When asked what poetry or rhymes or chants people use in their classrooms, they look at me often with blank stares. When I ask them what songs they use, there are lots of them that come off the tip of their tongue. But for things that don't require singing notes, they have to scratch their heads. Which leads me to think that there are not a lot of people using chants or rhymes or poetry, any of those things. Because most people are self-conscious about the way they sing, it makes logical sense that most people would use non-singing things in their classroom. This video is about rhymes and poetry in the classroom and how we can use rhymes and poetry to help children understand the bigger picture of language. And while chants are important for the bigger picture of helping literacy, they really fall short for some very basic reasons that we'll chat about in this little video. The first thing that we need to discuss is the difference between what a poem and a rhyme is as opposed to a chant. On the website Songs for Teaching, Sonia Dunn writes, "A chant is a rhythmic group recitation." And that's exactly what it is. It is a rhythmic group recitation. Everybody's doing the same thing at the same time, which is different from poetry, which doesn't necessarily need to be a group recitation, even though we do group recitations. Here is an example of a chant. This particular chant was written also by Sonia Dunn, and it's called Clino, also taken from the site Songs for Teaching. Here we go. We wash our hands with a rub, rub, rub. We take a bath with a scrub, scrub, scrub. We take a swim with a glub, glub, glub. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Glub, glub, glub. Clino, clino. Rub, scrub, glub. Now, as a transition to get kids to clean up, this is perfect. You can hear your whole class chanting this. And to be more musical, we might do this. We wash our hands with a rub, rub, rub. We take a bath with a scrub, scrub, scrub. We take a swim with a glub, glub, glub. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Glub, glub, glub. Cleano, cleano. Rub, scrub, glub. Now, that last little bit doesn't fall nicely into 4 beats, so I'm going to, or 4 lines, so I'm going to force it into 4 lines. Here we go. We wash our hands with a rub, rub, rub. We take a bath with a scrub, scrub, scrub. We take a swim with a glub, glub, glub. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Glub, glub, glub. Cleano, cleano. Rub, scrub, glub. Actually, I would do it this way. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Glub, glub, glub. Cleano, cleano. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Glub, glub, glub. Cleano, cleano. And I like that cleano, cleano at the end just because it's kind of cool. Anyway, you could see that this would lead to shouting. And there's a lot of rhyming words in the poem itself, and it helps, and it gets people moving, and it's a chant. That's the point. It's a chant. It's a group recitation. It's rhythmic. You can make music with it. We wash our hands with a. We take a bath with a. We take a swim with a. Clean-o, clean-o. Yeah. Or we wash our hands with a, we take a bath with a, we take a swim with a. Clean-o, clean-o. Lots of different things that you can do with it. It's just fun. Let's just face it. Our country right now, in education, we are possessed, obsessed with getting kids to read, which is important. Let me tell you. That's why I'm working on this video. So, there are chants, well, not just reading, but getting them to smell. Well, they already smell, but getting them to spell. Getting kids to spell. Getting them to count. Getting them to memorize things. We use music, chants, and music as that spoonful of sugar. For example, I've got a rap here. There is a rap
for fractions. There's part dance, adding and subtracting. There's a chant for angles. There's counting. There's a chant for circles. There's a chant for marching to 15. There's fractions. There's learning about the clock. Median dance. There's a metric system rap. There's a polygon rap. There's an anti-pollution rap. There's a muskrat rap. There's a longitude and latitude rap. A reptile rap. There's a turtle rap. There's an Abe Lincoln rap. There's a hand rap. There's a hop all over rap. There's a parachute rap. There's a rhyme chant. There's a move chant. There's a verb chant rap. There's a popcorn word. There's a Humpty Dumpty, Sweet Little Boy Blue thing. There's a color rap. There's a pizza rap. There's a junk food rap. There's a nobody could do it rap. There's this rap. There's
That hurts my head just to think about it. While knowledge and skill is important, it's not all about knowledge and skill. One of the things that we've lost is rhetoric. The idea of knowing when words are important and knowing when words are not important. That's the beauty of poetry. That is why we need poetry to help children go for the bigger picture. When they hear the bigger picture, they'll be able to put all of the words in context so they're not reading see, spot, run. Run, spot, run. See, Jane, go. That may be reading, but that's not the reading they need to hear all the time. What they need is an oral model, the oral model of the line of speech, the line of the language they speak, and right now we'll consider that they're speaking English, and the line that they're speaking in English is iambic pentameter. Short, long, short, long, short, long. And it's that last iamb of the five that's important. Da-dee, da-dee, da-dee. It drives to that cadence. It is the cadence of poetry that we can bring to prose when they're reading prose, when children read prose, that can help them read more fluently and with expression instead of ah. Let me give you an example. Mother Goose has fallen on hard times. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because she's 300, 400, 500 years old. But she doesn't need to fall on hard times. We need to resurrect her. The reason Mother Goose poetry is, I would say, from a literary standpoint, better than a chant is because it is actual English communicating an idea to someone else. For example, Banbury Cross. Here it is. I'm reading it just in a prose way. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse. With rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. Okay? Pretty much the way it needs to be read. Very lilting. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Now we could say it in a very pedantic rhythmic way, like this. And it's iambic pentameter, so we're going to use 6/8, that triple meter, bump, 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 kind of a rocking thing. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. And I'll try not to say it so pedantically without the big oomphata, which is the steady beat. Anyway, here I go. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. And that's an acceptable way to say it, and it's less Now I'm going to say only the words that fall on the stressed beats. So it would be ride, horse, ban, cross, see, laid, pon, horse, rings, fing, bells, toes, she, mew, ev, goes. I think that's right. Anyway, those are not the important words. If this is communicating an idea to someone else, it is not ride, horse, ban, cross. That carries no meaning, even though it's ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross. Even though those are the important metrical beats, they're not the intent of the line. Here's the intent of the line. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse. It's lady, seeing a lady on a white horse. That's the important thing. It's not this other thing. Let me say it again. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. And that takes a lot of air. You got to tank up on that one. So this 4-line poem should be thought of as 2 very long lines. Ride a cock horse, yadam bum beedum bum bottom bum bum. Bottom bum beedum bum bottom bum bum. Yadam bum beedum bum bottom bum bum. So really, the important part of the lines, it's the second line. It's the beginning of the second line. Ride, I'm riding a horse. Why? To see. And rings on her fingers, she shall have music. I'm going to see a fine lady, and that lady shall have music. That's the important part, and that's the part that our voices need to inflect. It's hard to do that when you see things as rhymed couplets. Even though cross and horse don't really rhyme, it doesn't matter. Toes and goes does. If we focus on the rhyming word, we forget about the poetic words. Okay? Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. This will conclude the first portion of this set on rhymes and poetry and fluency in the classroom.